Hello, friendos. You are on the channel, The Bookish Badger, and this is our final read-in for the Rocky Horror Readathon. I am Bella. You probably all know me if you're here. But I make a bookish YouTube content, and my Twitter is at @LaBookishBadger. And I'm real excited. I'm not excited that this is our last one, but I'm excited to be doing another read-in again. Would you all like to introduce yourselves, starting with Becky?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Becky. My channel name is Coffee, Cocktails, and Books. On there, I do your standard book content. Going up either tomorrow or Sunday is actually going to be my next Wheel of TBR with a few minor changes. So if you like TBR games, I definitely recommend checking that out. And I do have a surprise guest popping in that, so a little sneak peek if you like cameos, I guess, for lack of a better word. And I am really excited that the Rocky Horror Readathon has been as popular as it was. We've been having so much fun on Twitter, a blast in these live streams, as chaotic as they get. And on Sunday, we will actually be doing a final closing send-off live stream just to kind of like talk about what we read. I have some questions for my fellow co-hosts that will be on my channel. So if you want to see us show up one more time, I do hope that you're able to join us for that.
Me too. I want all of the people to come to that.
Literally in the middle of that, you said your YouTube channel name, and I was like, "What's my channel name?" I forgot. Hello, my name is Merritt. I'm over on Fictional, not Fantasy. I do a whole bunch of stuff about being a nerd, but I'm on pretty much everywhere else on the internet as @MerrittWorthy. And I'm very grateful that Becky decided in the middle of, or towards the end of BookTube beta to be like, hey, I have this idea with Rocky, and I didn't even let her finish. I was just like, I hear Rocky, I'm in. So this has been a fun time. I'm sad that it's ending, but it's been great. So I also could not handle this at the same time as NaNoWriMo anyway, so it's probably for the best.
Let's do Allie next.
Just go in a circle.
Just go in a circle there.
I'm Allie, and you can find me on Twitter as BookConfessional or @BookConfession2, the number 2. And yeah, I've had so much fun. Thank you for inviting me, Becky. And I actually finished some books. So, like, I feel like I've achieved something with my life. To Cait.
I'm trying to get my dog to leave. Go! I have pizza. You can't have it. All right. So, God, her nails are super loud. So, I'm Cait. My channel is Chaptercvii. I mostly read science fiction and fantasy, mostly adult books. I do a lot of discussion videos, and I have a book club called the Gothlet Club. We read Gothic literature. I'm trying to think what else I can talk about. Oh, this month, I have merch, so there's that.
Oh, good. I was about to say it when you're like, what else do I have? I was like, am I going to say it again?
I also have, and so far, the readathon actually finished 2 books now. I'm currently reading 2 others, but yeah, I'm reading this book and this sleeve. It's stuck. But yeah, that's what I do.
Did you finish Middle Game, or are you still reading it?
I stopped reading because it got intense, and that's what I do. Apparently.
Is that what you're going to be reading tonight?
Yes, I'm going to be reading Middle Game. I have this much left. So I'm going to try and finish it.
Yay.
At some point.
You can do it. If I can finish some books, you can finish some books.
Even me also sometimes. But yeah. And I'm also currently listening to the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires right now by Grady Hendrix. And I didn't realize that he was actually like from the state. I was like, why does all his books take place in South Carolina? Because he's from here. So poor guy.
Poor guy. What's everybody else reading tonight?
Using the sponsor of this video, Hoopla, I will be listening to The Merciful Crow. So, I have 3 books since I finished one earlier today, and so they helped me pick this one, and I do have the audiobook I will be listening to and going back and forth between physical and listening.
Good deal.
I'm still reading Gemina. I'm only like 200 pages in because I don't know what reading is. I'm like the least read person on BookTube, and I've been here for like 6 years.
You are blowing up on TikTok, and that's what matters.
I just hit 55,000. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Wow, good for
Like
you.
It
Meredith
scares me.
TikTok
I don't
famous.
want to post anymore. I post about NaNoWriMo on there now, and I'm like, none of you came for this. It's fine if you leave. Please go. Stresses me out. It's stressful.
Well, I finished Catherine House, so to anybody who came here to watch me slowly read Catherine House, I'm sorry to disappoint you. But I'm going to try to finish off the readathon with, I don't even know what it's called. It's called The Complete Gothic Stories, Haunted Castles by Ray Russell.
Ooh.
I don't know. I found it at the Goodwill bookshop, and it had sprayed edges, so I mean, I just immediately bought it.
It's a good reason.
So hopefully it's good. I don't know.
Sprayed edges are just such an enticer. Like,
Right?
they're so
And like,
gorgeous all of the time.
pink cover, sprayed edges. It's about haunted castles. It's got to be good.
I
Sold.
definitely bought like a World of Warcraft book once because it had sprayed edges and didn't even realize it because I was so impressed with sprayed edges. So, no judgment
Something I
there.
would do.
Mhm.
It looks cool. Okay.
Oh,
Going back to Fairy Loot every month. It's like, oh darn, okay, sprayed edges, you got me. It doesn't matter.
I'm so glad I
Keeps
have
coming
no
back.
room for books so that it stops me from buying boxes like that because I would have too many things that I'd be spending money on if I had more space.
Those
I have no space.
right here, those are all sub-box books that I fell behind on because I'm trash.
that's a lot. You'll get there eventually.
And I am still reading The Martian, but I've got which way? There we go. I've got the little bitty bit left at the top.
you're
It's
so
like less
bad.
than 100 pages.
You're
I'm
so-
on like 285 of like 340 or something to that effect. So I'm mega close. I don't know if I'm going to finish it during the sprints, but I'd like to finish it tonight at some point.
You're so close.
So close.
You gotta get
Like I
through
said, it's definitely my Antissa book.
So is this.
That was fun.
I've made a poor choice.
Allie, are you using Catherine House for yours?
I mean, that was the intention. I didn't know if it still counted if I finished a whole day early.
I think that counts.
You are
It's towards
allowed
the end.
to stretch the rules and cheat and make it work. That
I'll
was
just bingo stamp everything. I'll be like, it fits, guys.
Rocky Horror is all about strict order.
I finished it today. Started a day late, finished it a day early. Guess what? It counts.
There you go. All right. Yes. Catherine House will be my Antissa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as long as like you started in the first week and ended in the second week, it counts.
Yeah. There you
As
go.
long
That's
as
what I'm
you
gonna say anyway.
anyway. During the 2-week period, double up, triple up, quadruple up. I mean, if you guys look at like my progress thread, you would see like each book is working for like a minimum of like 6 prompts. Like I was strategic.
I have run into the issue that every book I've been reading, I've been finishing a lot of prompts, and I still haven't hit bingo.
Oh, I'm having that problem too. I was trying to like place Gemini on there, and I was like, oh, I can do everything but a bingo. It's like all over the place. Like, I'm gonna break the rules and rearrange the bingo board.
I do this or that. There is rule breaking to be had.
I keep forgetting about the bingo board.
Here's my bingo board, and you take everything out of order.
Yeah. It's like I take out all the ones that fit and I just put them in a line and I'm like, it's done.
I did bingo.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my bingo board.
I was doing mine on my my Instagram story the other day, and I was like making all of the little icons on it match whatever book it was. So there is one other book that I have been reading during this past week, and it's a memoir that I've already read, but I was like, I forgot parts of it, so I'm like, I'm just gonna reread it. So it's an audiobook. But the cover of it is a mouse, so I just had this like rocket ship and mice like gifs all over my bingo board.
That's so cute.
It's like
Oh my gosh.
uncharacteristically cute.
Sorry. My dog is creepy, heavy breathing under the door. Like, my friends in here, I was like, is she asleep? But no, it's my
like,
dog squish her nose up under the door, and it's just like.
No.
He's like, no, Darth Vader. I'm just gonna be him for a second.
So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I got like really caught off guard.
I think another thing that has sponsored these live streams has been like animal interludes.
Oh, yeah. I finally got them to sleep, so Nitro will probably make his debut a little bit later because I just got for him up. It's a fetch right before this. I'm like, please go to sleep, I beg you.
Well, better for the interlude.
My cat's behind my computer right now, but no guarantees she'll stay there. She'll probably crawl next to me at some point during the evening.
I think I saw her tail last time.
Yeah, she was walking around and like you could see the tail in the frame, and I don't know if you could see her like rubbing her face on my book and like rubbing the pages, but she was definitely doing that too.
Sure.
So how are we all feeling about reading sprints? Did we want to start off with the traditional 15 to ease into it?
I am indifferent. I will let you all pick.
15's good.
How are we feeling?
What's
the mood?
Decisions are hard, and 15 is a good number.
Okay, well, here's what I think. I think we've been starting with the 15 for all of them, and I feel like I would be breaking tradition if I messed up the stream now. If I messed up the stream of the 15 beginnings. So
I just said a call line, but then I couldn't remember what it was.
I got really excited today because I found out that Rocky Horror is going to be playing someplace in my town tomorrow night. So
That's awesome.
I just got a notification that it's going to be in mine too, and I'm debating if I want to go or not.
One is playing at the drive-in here, but they're doing it with a different Shadowcast. And they usually call in the one that I did it with, and they just decided to pull people together on their own and didn't tell anyone. So we're all like, who is doing it?
I thought about, so ours is like in person at theater, which is my biggest like trepidation about going, and it's like a mask required thing, of course. And I'm like, well, you know that scene right before they go to the lab when they're wearing their masks, right below pictures. I'm like, all right, well, if I got like a magenta costume and to have it be like a pink mask, that would look pretty sweet. But I'm so heavy.
I found my bingo card.
Yay! I just ordered a pizza.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I've been doing. Every time I seem confused or not paying attention, I was placing a Domino's order. So
by Domino's. Domino's, they'll cook because we don't want to.
All right, so are we ready to start at the 15? Okay, so the only thing is I've got 2 options for timers. We can go space themed or we can go cozy autumn themed.
Ooh, I kind of want to do space.
Space? Okay.
I am going to be an alien tomorrow, so.
And
Okay, well then it's
and
decided.
there are
I
here
just
for
made a
aliens in
space
this
costume
show.
for my sister.
Perfect.
Today, so.
We're all on that vibe here.
And what did you say before, Becky?
And so the show does have aliens as kind of like a central feature of it. So
Oh, this is true.
Wait, I got my glasses
Space.
here.
The party goer glasses.
Oh, I love those. Where did
These are
you
the
get
best
them?
thing.
Oh my goodness.
Internet.
I need it.
Where did you get them? Internet.
Yes, I got them for my alien costume tomorrow. But
Very cool.
Love
great.
that.
Hello, Nicholas.
Nicholas is my coworker.
It's just the way that like I wasn't like looking
Shout
at
out
the
to coworker
screen,
Nicholas.
and I just hear the noise, and it's like, oh.
All right, so let me switch to one of these space-themed ones. All right, so share screen is down here. Listen, I know sharing the screen might be easiest with 2 monitors, but I don't have that, buddy.
I love StreamYard sass. You know, if you come up with better, this would be easier for you.
Oh, Chrome tab, yes. Okay,
Oh,
does this look right to everybody?
That was
Go ahead
Okay.
and turn it on your side, and then that will take up the whole thing, and you can still move between tabs.
Make it full screen, you said?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So starting at 7:50, let's call it 7:55-ish, and we'll be back around 8:10. All right. All right, everybody. How did we do?
Got 13 pages read.
Ooh, that's really good. I actually have to count because I didn't look beforehand.
I did 9. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you did 9, you said?
Yeah.
Nice.
I did 8.
I also got 9.
Nice.
Sorry, I was trying to finish this last page. 'cause it's the end of the chapter.
I read like 6, but I was distracted by pizza.
That is completely valid. And also those goddamn ads that kept popping up in the middle of the timer. Very rude. Also uncalled for.
The first one was like, "Do you want to make your writing more fluid or something?" And I was like, "Screw you." Advertisement. You want to show yourself out?
Like a Grammarly ad.
If I want to be called out, I would go to a NaNoWriMo group, okay?
Are you guys all doing NaNoWriMo?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not.
Most,
That would terrify
I
me.
am.
most of my friend circle is, so
How
I'm
are
like,
you guys? Most of your friend circle is, you said?
yeah, so like a lot of like in my circle, like my YouTube circle now is like NaNoWriMo related stuff. So like I feel the FOMO that I want to do it, knowing damn well I don't want to do it.
I feel that so hard. It's like I'm not writing anything right now. I don't want to write anything right now, but it seems like it could be fun, but also terrifying. So actually,
The longest thing I've ever written was like maybe 10,000 words, and it was like back in high school. It wasn't good, and I haven't had any desire to write other than like stuff for like readathon since then. And yet, for some reason, my brain's like a bike. No, it will be really cool. 50,000 words. I'm like,
That's like more than 100 a day.
Like 10 times that.
So many of them.
A lot of words.
so
Really stressed out
big
for the
power
whole
to y'all who could do NaNoWriMo.
Cait and Merritt, do you want to tell us anything about your whips that you're doing for NaNoWriMo? Anything you want to say, whether like your genre, if it's a new project or old project, any of that fun
Mine's
jazz?
fantasy, and it's based on a long form roleplay group I had on Tumblr like several years ago. But it was like a whole world that I'd made up with this whole mythology and species and all this stuff like that. So I was like, I'd always intended to write it like out. So using it in that form just let me explore in the in the world a lot before I actually am writing it. So it's a portal fantasy.
Cool. That's really cool.
Very cool.
It's gonna be a fun time. Or
Awesome.
a terrible time. We'll find out. It'll be a time.
It's NaNoWriMo. I feel like it's both of those at the same time.
Yeah.
Usually.
Don't limit
Like
to
ask
one.
me again in November.
Yeah.
So how are we all feeling about our books, and how has anything interesting happened in that last 15 minutes there?
Yes.
Yes.
I need to figure out where you are, because like there are like 4 moments in the book that I can have that exact reaction, and I'm trying to narrow down which one I think you're at.
I think the world's ending, but it's cool.
I mean, they're getting close to that over here.
It's like something terrible happened, but then they were happy about something, but now it's bad again. So
Okay,
no.
so start up the whole book.
the whole book.
How does it compare to like the Every Heart a Doorway series? Is it like very different, or can you tell it's the same author still?
I too would like to know because I haven't read the other series.
Oh yeah.
The writing, there are a couple quirks that kind of like lend you to see, oh, this is the same author, and that's towards the end, and I can't tell you why. But if you were to read like Into the Drowning Deep, Middle Game, and the Every Heart a Doorway series, and you were like stripped of who the author was, you're just like given these manuscripts, you would probably be able to say either the same person wrote them or the same like writing group wrote them, kind of how like some authors have very similar voices, but you might not 100% feel the same. It's so complex and different, and like with like the Every Hard Doorway series being just like novellas, it's not as complex because each book is like 180 pages, so it's different. You can see some of McGuire's quirks in there that she has really explored, but I wouldn't say if you're a fan of Every Hard Doorway you have to read this one, but if you like her slower pace of like Into the Drowning Deep, it's definitely worth checking out.
See, I almost bought Every Hard Doorway today, but like,
it's good.
I judge things by their cover so hard, and I'm like, this just looks too happy.
It's not. I can tell you that right now.
Okay, good.
It's not as depressing as Middle Game, but like, it's not as happy-go-lucky as you think it is.
I want to be sad and disturbed. Okay.
I don't know if you'll be sad, but it's gorier than the cover makes it out to be. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Much.
Well, if it's gory, then that's fine. That helps me with my decision.
For some reason, people call it YA because it follows teenagers and it's portal fantasy and sweet. But there's at least 2 or 3 scenes per book that are like, oh no, this is adult. I understand why it's marketed this way.
People like to call things YA that aren't YA a lot.
I think my pizza's here. I'll be right back.
Okay.
They do that. I'm surprised. Like, they don't do that to like Neil Gaiman, who like will write a book with like a child main character, but it's still an adult book because he's a man. But
I mean, they do that to J. Kristoff though, because Nevernight gets pitches YA all the time.
That's true. That's true.
I think Nevernight is.
What's that?
I said Nevernight is very far from YA with that opening scene.
Yeah.
I think it's something to do with the cover design. Like, some covers look YA, and just even if it's not attached to a YA book, people see the cover and they're like, that looks like a YA cover. I'm gonna market it as such. And it's just like, you're wrong. Stop doing wrong things. Market correctly, please.
My hot take on that one is because Throne of Glass got popular and it's also about a teenage assassin, and when they found out that Nevernight with a kind of similar but not really cover that it's also about teenage assassin, I feel, and it was popular amongst a very similar demographic. Most people were like, oh, well, if the YA audience likes this one, they have to also like this one. And so it's also YA. It's like,
I
just make me do that.
I wish that books just had like, you know how movies have like ratings, like this is R and this is PG, PG-13. I wish they kind of would do that. That way, like, I know would come with its own set of issues. That way, you didn't have to classify it for
well, this is a thing that I have been thinking about for years in terms of soapbox, because I was talking to a friend about this literally like a week ago. But I feel like they should do like what video games do. So there should be like E for everybody, teen for teen, and M for mature. And in addition to the rating is where all the trigger and content warnings should be. And it should be part of the blurb or the back of the cover, and it should be universal and standard. That's my publishing hot take.
I mean,
and if you wanted to know about the content warnings, you can look at them. If you don't, just ignore it. And also, if a content warning like ruins the book for you, then it's probably not a good book. I don't know.
Like,
that's literally my entire argument about spoilers in general.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to know if a character dies or doesn't, usually.
Like, and also, like, something like Speak, like, back in the day, people did not know it was about sexual assault, and it was the first YA book to tackle it. Guess what? Still 20 years later, there are people for the first time that find out it's about sexual assault. Is it technically a reveal at the end of the book? Yeah. Technically, yeah, it is. But, like, it doesn't take away from the content of it. And, like, I guess, like, and the argument of, like, a domestic thriller, I guess, where, like, that could dance into spoiler territory. Guess what? If you say it broadly, like, suicide or mental health representation or whatever, guess what? It gives nothing away. It doesn't set you up for expectations. And if it shows up in the last 4 pages, it's fine.
Yeah.
And
I read Speak as a graphic novel, so I didn't like, I knew what I was going into, but
I read
it
Speak
back
in middle school. And let me
Yeah.
tell you, that
middle
is,
school or high
like,
school?
Middle school, it was like traumatizing to read that the first time through, because it's like you don't know it's coming.
I knew it was about sexual assault. I forgot why I read it the first time, but I knew it was like that. And I know that my mom was hesitant to let me read it because of how, for the time, pretty graphic that scene was in the book too. Like, it's surprisingly graphic. So she was like, take it at your own pace. If you need to talk about it, I'm here. And then I watched the movie adaptation, which
I haven't seen it.
it's surprisingly good as movie adaptations go. I was very pleasantly surprised, but yeah, it does a great job tackling it. If I personally think that like Speak fans should slowly move to Girl Made of Stars for Ashley Herring Blake as a slightly more updated version of a similar tale, and it tackles some really fantastic things, and it will break your heart, and it's really good.
Did you just throw a piece of pizza at the dog? Is that what that
I threw a paper towel roll at my friend.
Oh. But I agree with you, Becky, that like usually the people who seem to be up in arms about trigger warnings and the fact that like they might be spoilers for books are usually people who don't like have a need for trigger warnings, and if that's the case, just don't read the trigger warning page, and then if you do have some triggers, then it's there for you and it's useful and
I mean,
it works out.
Movies and TV have them all the time. I don't hear anyone bitching about those. Maybe they're just not in my circles. I can, maybe they're there, they're not in my circles, but like
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I see that all the time,
bitch,
and
just not as much.
like I don't share the same level of like up in arms as that. And there's the argument that seeing it in a movie is almost more traumatizing due to the visual interpretation compared to the reading interpretation. So it's like I saw someone make this comment. I don't know who they are, so I'm sorry I can't credit them. But they likened trigger warnings to allergens. They're there for those that need them, and if you don't need it, just ignore it. It doesn't take away from the experience. And I would like to see someone argue with that logic.
Yeah. I've seen that same take before, and I also don't know who originally made it. But exactly, you're not like, this has a peanut allergy warning. I'm so annoyed. I wanted to be surprised that there were peanuts in it.
We really expect my Reese's to have a peanut in it. How dare they ruin that for me? Like, no. Oh yeah, I don't know. Like I really think that like the thing I hate about the whole Discord the most is not even the spoiler thing, but it's like, why is it a big deal, and trying to minimize that whole big deal thing, and it just makes me all grumpy. And I'm saying that to minimize it because I don't want to go on a rant, because that's not what this stream is for. I will make a video about it in the future if I get mad enough.
So, can I ask how we got on this topic? Because I was getting pizza. I came back and we were full blown in it. Like, I think it's a great topic. I just have no idea how we got here.
We were talking about how books should have like ratings like movies or like video games do, because how very frequently people like to misclassify YA as adult or adult as YA because of inconsequential factors like teen protagonists and whatnot, despite the actual content of the novel.
And we got there because of Very Hard a Doorway.
Gotcha. See, don't get me started on this topic, because as a huge movie buff, I will go off on the film rating system because it's a mess. But
it needs to get fixed. Ever since the whole like PG-13 debacle after Jaws and Indiana Jones, they just need to like redo the whole thing.
It has nothing to do with like the ratings themselves. It has to do with like the inequality with which they put them on things, and the fact that it is hugely monetarily based now.
Oh yeah,
it's a mess. So
it's awful.
At work, we can't show movies that are over PG, even though we work with adults, and for dumb reasons that don't make any sense and are not based in fact. So like, it's like, oh, this person said the B word. Oh no. Now I can't show it at work. Like, I've gotten in trouble for showing Thor 2 before.
That's
and
wild.
Aquaman.
Like, I did stuff with teens, and we were, like, when I was working at a residential facility, and we were at least able to go up to PG-13. That's wild that you're stuck at PG.
Yeah, it's mostly because of our boss, though. Like, I feel like they're others in the hospital that wouldn't mind, but our boss is very. I don't know. It's odd because we used to be able to. She would pick like these like football movies, which every football movie has racially charged violence in it. I swear. I have not seen a single one that didn't have that. And it's like, so this real life terrible thing is okay to be depicted in a movie, but like, Lord forbid Aquaman gets zapped by a zappy thing.
The horror, Cait, the horror.
It's just like, doesn't make, or, alien monsters come for Thor and he,
Or his joke is a little too sexually charged for the rating.
Oh, yeah. Aquaman was shirtless. Everyone loved it.
I think I'm gonna make Aquaman got zapped by the zappy thing my new Discord name.
He did.
But I do have to say, a friend of mine actually got mad that Aquaman was too hot in the movie, and I was like, "Aquaman is your favorite superhero," and they were just like, "Yeah, they just made like a pretty boy. It's just another superhero movie," and I was just like, "What? He's hot. Be happy."
The comics is basically Superman, but in the water. Like, he has the strength and all the other stuff, the speed and everything. He's just also
water,
sharks and junk. He also has fish friends.
My computer just asked me to delete Windows.
Don't delete your windows, then you'll just have walls.
I'm just concerned as to why it's asking me to delete my operating system.
That's very sus.
Do you want to destroy your computer?
Well,
come on, let's do it. It's fun.
It's concerning. Figure it out later.
You're like,
So how are we all feeling about another reading sprint?
Yeah.
Would we like to do like a 20-minute? Do we want to dive all the way into 25 already? How are we feeling?
25. I don't know if you guys can see, but this wick is like, or this flame is like going crazy.
No one himself a flicker.
I was like listening to it, and I'm like, are you gonna like have a sparkle in like my room? Because please don't.
I don't know. Just like catches on fire.
Could burn down an entire chemistry lab. But
if we notice anything on fire in your background, we'll be like, hey,
Between my 5 million books or my dog's toys, I don't know which one's a bigger threat.
Oh my gosh.
Or like, no, my actual dog, since they're long hair, so.
No.
Which means it's everywhere.
I think they'd be smart enough to at least move away from it.
That's why we have such trouble lighting candles in my house, because my cats get into everything. We're just too afraid that they'll just knock down a candle and burn down the house. So it has to be like, okay, somebody's going to be monitoring it the whole time it's burning.
Who's on cat duty and who's on candle duty?
Exactly. So are we liking the space timer?
I thought it was fun.
It was fun.
Okay. Because I have more space timers.
I would like to call the death of the main character in this short story by the time I'm on chapter or page 8. He gets a letter from some woman from his past who's married to a guy who lives in a castle and invites them to come over. And he's like, okie dokie. So, like, I'm predicting death. You saw it.
That's fair.
Good to know.
I am excited to get to part 3 in this book because it's called Bastards and Gods. I'm very intrigued to see what the significance of that is.
Why not?
I love that.
Sounds exciting. I think some pretty hefty crap is about to go down in The Martian. It's one of those scenarios where it's like the audience knows what's about to happen and the main character doesn't. It's like, oh dear.
Oh no.
I'm just trying to figure out who's gonna die next, because currently the main character is running around in her underwear. So
That's always a sign.
Well, there you go.
One of the telltale signs of somebody is about to die.
well, It's for a reason.
I can't wait for you to get to redacted part in Gemini because of redacted reason.
Oh,
I'm gonna start like sending you PMs of just like this happened.
Do it.
I'll send you a message.
I feel like intense stuff doesn't stop happening in this book, and it's gonna give me heart problems.
Same,
no.
but I like it.
It's great. It's like watching, I don't know. I can only compare it to like watching Hannibal. Like it's like, oh, what's gonna happen? Oh, okay, that's nice. Oh no, it's not nice. Everything's bad. Oh, that's okay. Just
Yeah,
back and forth.
The last 100 pages of Middle Game were not only intense, but they didn't stop. So good,
Oh yeah.
good luck.
How many pages do I have left? Oh, I don't want to look at that. Okay.
Has anybody ever done that where you try to look at how many pages you have left in a chapter or in the rest of the book and you just completely spoil yourself for like the last thing that happens?
In high school, we were reading 19 Minutes by Jodi Picoult, and my dumbass saw a book club of like chat questions. And because I was reading this for high school, I knew to get grade on it. So as I was reading, I was kind of following with the questions for like comprehension. Question 4 of 13 spoiled the biggest review in the entire book. I was on page like
Rude.
90 because it was question 4, so I thought it would be safe because the other ones felt like they were like in chronological order. No. And the twist in that book was pretty intense, and so I was pissed. I think it ruined my reading experience, and I'm not gonna lie, it was awful.
No.
I swear, like in middle and high school, I had this habit of like when I pick up a new book, I would immediately go to the last page and read the last sentence.
My
So that way I would
mom
spend the
does
entire
that.
thing.
Like she
I would,
reads
like,
the
try to
last
figure out
chapter
how it
first.
happened.
It's awful.
See, I never would like read the endings, but I was the kind of person who I never used any sort of what's it called, bookmark at all. I would literally just shut the book and then try to remember where I was. So I'd pick it up, I'd open up to a page and be like, that's about right, and I'd start reading, and it'd be like, has this happened yet? Yes, I'm gonna move forward a couple pages, and then it's like I'd read something that didn't happen yet, so I'd be like, okay, and I would just basically do that until I was like, this seems right.
That's so chaotic.
Becky was so stressed during that entire explanation.
The only reason I started using bookmarks is because I now have a tendency to start a book and not finish it for 6 months. So, 6 months down the line, I'm like, oh, wait, I have no idea where I was. So I need to use them now. But I will more than likely lose the bookmark in that period of time. Somehow. They just fall out, even though it's been sitting on a shelf, not moving for that entire amount of time. I don't know.
The most chaotic thing I've done is like in high school, I never used bookmarks. I just remembered the page number, and I would solely off of that because like I would get caught reading in school all the time. So like I would quickly like glance and do instead like make a big production. Like I would get in trouble. I'm like, okay, and like that's all it would take to do it. And people were like, "Do you know where you are?" I'm like, "Yeah, page 152." They're like.
I go for like a vague visual, like rather than like remembering a number, I'm like, that amount of space seems right.
I used to do that, but I'd remember like what the paragraphs looked like.
I would remember pretty much like the page or whatever, but like I would never remember it perfectly, so I could kind of tell. So I'm like, I was on this part of the page. Like if it's like 2/3 down, it's just a matter of which page was it.
Furniture as bookmarks, probably more than anything else. Like I'll just like leave it on the back of a chair. Like, this.
I will put my phone in it. I'll put like whatever is just around near me, remote control.
I've used my dog as a bookmark before.
I do that. I do that often. I also have used another book as a bookmark.
Yep.
It was like one of these situations where I was trying to bookmark 2 books, so I had it like interwoven.
As we're roasting ourselves, I literally have a fortune from a fortune cookie marking my starting space. So at the end of our reading sprint, I can see how many pages I've read as we're having this with a real bookmark in here for show.
The chaotic energy just radiating from all of these bookmark stories, and I'm just like, I like bookmarks.
I have a
worst part is,
collection over there. I just don't use them.
yes, like in the other room, I have a mug of maybe 50 bookmarks, and I'm like, this random fortune cookie wrapper, this Post-it note, these are
The
fantastic.
receipt that you bought the book with.
Oh yeah.
That's the biggest one.
Yep.
Just
All
the
wrappers.
very flimsy, like, just receipt paper.
I think receipt paper is the most used bookmark in the book community, and I would like to have someone challenge me on that fact.
I feel like that's right. Like as somebody who works at a library, I'd say the number one thing, if somebody leaves in their bookmark, the number one thing is always the receipt that it came with, like the due date slip.
I was
I
gonna
was
say,
working
like,
at
people
Barnes-
take like the card out of the front, use that as the bookmark. That's smart.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
I feel like
When
I'd
I was
lose
working
it.
at Barnes and Noble, people would like try to return a book, and they'd be like, "Oh, I can't find the receipt," and like at least 60% of the time, it was in the book, and they just never thought to look because it was so long.
You ever have the problem though, like when you buy a book and the person checks you out, they put the receipt in the book, and then I'll put it on my shelf, but I also do that like as a bookmark. So like I pick up the book and I'm like, have I started this already? Like, is this where I am, or is this like how I bought it? Is this how it came?
We're actually trained to do that whole receipt thing. It's not just a universal truth. It's actually like part of our training. Is that receipt goes in book, book goes in bag.
Well, it's
Yeah, the
ruining my
guy
life.
today like didn't do that, and I was like, "Do you even work here?" He just like
Are
handed
you
it to me
new?
like an animal of some sort.
You must be new, I see.
Like, and I get a free cookie. Okay.
Although back to free cookies, yay.
Oh, good. That was the best one.
I feel like I'm
I
always
remember when
getting
we
free
lost the free
cookies.
cookie and we went to something else, and I had a customer literally yell at me for like 10 minutes that they couldn't get their free cookie. And I'm like, I don't control this, and you have $1 off your coffee. So like the cookie is $1.39, so consider that half your cookie. Sorry. One of these days I'll tell
Listen,
you guys
man.
some of my Barnes and Noble stories, because I have some wild ones from working in California.
Do a tell-all documentary.
Please do. Oh my gosh, inside the B&N.
Behind the scenes at Barnes and Noble, my 6-month experience.
Oh my goodness.
I'm still friends with my Barnes and Noble employees, my old manager, and their actual store on my Instagram, and they say that they're purposely still following me to keep up on what I'm doing. So, and some will watch my channel. So, I love it.
They're not like following you to see like, does she talk about us?
They
I mean,
love
maybe.
it. They thought it was great. They're actually the reason why I got my Arc of Crescent City. They actually put it back for me because they know I was a huge fan, and they thought it was really adorable that I lost my shit over seeing it.
Aww.
We stand good work environments.
Oh, I loved it. I was so sad I had to leave. Like they furloughed me just because everyone that was there less than 6 months got furloughed. That was just like their blanket policy. And then I had to move before I got to start working again. And it was a really sad goodbye.
Oh, man.
Aww. They were going to help me get a job out here, but the one here wasn't hiring. And my bill said, "Sorry, ma'am, you need a new job." So that's my employment history right there.
Well, I think that they should hire you back the second that they have space, because you were obviously
They said if I
like,
go
very
back
good
to
at Barnes and Noble.
California, I have a job waiting for me, which is awesome.
That's always so nice to hear.
So now I just need to get back to LA. Check one.
So let's see here. I've got our timer set up if we're all ready for another sprint.
Yeah. We decided 25, right?
Yeah, we're going with the 25 this time.
Yes.
Which hopefully won't have ads. That was so annoying.
Allie, I just saw your tweet after I was talking. I thought for a second that like some of my Barnes and Noble just messaged me because someone had a similar name to yours. I'm like, oh my god, what's I just caught?
Oh my gosh.
Big Brother was watching.
All right, we're starting at a nice round time here this time, which is lovely.
Yay.
Much easier to calculate. All right, starting up. All right. So how did we all do that round? Merritt, you look concerned.
You doing
One of the
okay?
characters just like told. One of the characters just told a story about his grandmother, and it is messed up, but like in the best way. But like I just ended literally right as the sentence that ends that story, and I was just like, "What the hell?" Anyway,
I got 24 pages done because I'm only on page 67. I'm still in the setup of the story, so like nothing happened. I mean, like stuff is happening, but like nothing like worth like commenting on.
I'm got 14 pages that round, and it was. I think we're out of danger zone again. I think can never be too sure with this book, but I think we're out of danger zone again. You also look concerned, Cait. I think you're still muted. Just gotta scratch your ear real quick.
This book, y'all. It got like really bad, and I was like, "Oh gosh, this is terrible." And then it got worse somehow, and now it's just like, I am at the library and everything's normal. I'm wearing khakis.
Oh my god! You know what that just reminded me of? The fact that in Twilight, Bella like wears like a khaki skirt, and Edward's just like, it's too much. It's just...
Khaki.
My favorite part of, I say favorite like facetiously, but like one part that made me laugh, like genuinely laugh in Midnight Sun, was one part where Edward like saw Bella and was like, her outfit's nice, too nice. She needs to go back to the outfit she wore the other day that made her look more homely. I'm like, sir, I paraphrased, but like that was the gist. I'm like, sir,
Okay.
you sound like my mom. You need to bring it down.
God.
Wow. There's a lot happening.
Seem just all afluster.
There's yeah. I
Oh,
read
really?
26
Oh,
pages
nice.
though, so yeah, there were some pages that was like title, and then it was
You're making me really want to like read Middle Game with all this, and you and Becky being like, "Oh, I think you're at this part," and if it's that part.
Good.
So, I'm gonna stay up all night reading it.
Finishing it.
You need to give me a reaction when you get to the end. I need to like know like your thoughts. Like if you need to take like a day to like piece them together, that's fine too.
I should just do like a review as soon as I'm done, and just be like looking like wide-eyed. And just, like,
20 minutes of you like.
Yeah.
Just that for 20 minutes. Thank you so much for coming to my review. Be sure to hit subscribe on your way out. Thanks.
I have merch.
Just the gate for 20 minutes.
Oh, hold on. I just got tagged in a tweet that was it's from Chaucer Doth Tweet, and I need to read it to you all because I think you'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Not but a leap to the left, and then a quacklize tread, but thine hands on thy hips, and then thy knees be ungathered. Yet lo, the pelvic thrust maketh mirth adone to reign. Let us do the time warp again.
That's our new bio. Sorry, I'm stealing
That's
it.
beautiful.
I just got tagged in this, and I was like, wait a minute, what?
That's amazing.
I adore that.
That's amazing. I will definitely be retweeting that on the main page.
One of my favorite meme formats is when it takes like a normal thing from like a song or something and it makes it medieval sounding.
The exact opposite of what you were describing, but somehow on my recommended page on Instagram was someone listening to the Kids Bop version of WAP. So
I need to hear it now.
It exists?
I saw it. It was like fake, but it was like
Oh.
I don't care if it's fake or not.
it was great though.
I
It was quality.
also saw a Christian version of it where it was this one was on TikTok for a while, but it was like worship and praise, and I was like, sir, you need a lot more Jesus, okay?
We had at my old church, we had a Baby Got book, and it was all about having a really big Bible. And it was actually really funny.
I'm gonna need a full rendition of that on your channel.
You know what creatures got to show. It was really great. In like the funnest way. I loved it.
So I was wondering if you guys wanted to do, I know we're like at the end of the readathon, so it's not quite as pressing, but if anybody wants to look for books in these sort of categories, if we want to do a couple of more recommendations.
Yeah, that was fun.
Sure.
So, do you guys have any recommendations for the Eddie prompt, the read a book with a bad boy character in it?
Yes.
It's actually like I've been waiting for this one. Because I actually feel like I don't entirely know if I have any. And when I was like trying to sort of think out a TBR, I was like, I don't know.
So this is a straight up smut book. This is not an adult romance. It's straight up smut. And it is The Beast by Katie Roberts. This is the 4th book in her Wicked Villain series. Technically, there is a little bit of chronology around them, but like with most smutty books, you can read them out of order and figure it out. But The Beast is a Gaston the Beast Belle menage situation. And the Beast and Gaston get it on a few times, and Gaston and Hook kind of have a thing on the side. If that's not enough bad boys for you, I don't know what is.
There's a lot of bad boys in that book.
I think Becky sums up my opinions perfectly on that.
It is so good. Like, if you need just some Chef Kiss level smut, it's fantastic. All of them are great. It starts off with Jafar and Jasmine in the first book, and then it's Meg, Hades, Hercules, and then Tinkerbell and Hook, and then Gaston, Beast, and Belle, and then it's Alaric, who's like Eric, Zuriel, so Ariel, and then Ursula or Ursa in this world, and then the 6th one is going to be a basically inspired by Maleficent and Belle, and this series is my favorite thing. All the books are really fast reads, and they are so good. They're straight smut though, so like if you're not into that, please don't read it. But like if you like that, or if you just need like a palate cleanser, they're fantastic and they're so good. That's my rec.
That sounds absolutely wild.
They're fantastic. I think.
Wait, Scary, go ahead.
I would say Desperate Measures, that's the first book, was free on Kindle last week. I don't know if it still is, but it was free on Kindle for a little bit. Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Get a deal in there too.
Mine's a classic. There are a lot of bad boys in classics, but but mine is a Picture of Dorian Gray. Because like
that's on my TBR.
I literally was just scrolling through my read books and I was like, should I say Picture of Dorian Gray?
Yes, it's so good. And he's such a bad, like he starts out and he's like this innocent dude, and this one guy's like, you're going to be bad now, and then he's like, I'm gonna be bad now, and so and he's bad.
I desperately want someone to do drunk histories with classic literature. I will watch the shit out of that.
That would be so good.
If you want to see me rant about Romeo and Juliet, I almost called it Romeo and Julius because that was the version of it I did. I made a gay stage adaptation, and I hate that story so much. Like, anyway.
I guess kind of also bouncing off of your Dorian Gray, one that kind of works, I guess, then would be also Faust, because like I don't think you get any more bad boy than like the devil himself. Or any Faust Tale retelling.
I almost said Good Omens because of the demon dude.
Oh yeah. I mean, Beelzebub's a bad boy.
Ooh, what is that? Book
Bad
it
boy. Yeah, I finished them during the readathon.
I need you to confirm or deny if there is trans or gender queer rep in that series. Because it showed up on a list. Or is it just general LGBT?
I think it's more like general LG. Well, no, actually, no. There is one character. Yeah, there is a trans woman.
Okay, that's my backup book if I don't get to if I don't get to this one. I just downloaded it on Hoopla, so I need someone to confirm or deny that for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. And there's just so many characters. I was trying to think back. But it's very, very LGBTQ plus, like it's all encompassing, but there's also a lot of gore and violence and a lot of smut and a lot of
all my buzzwords.
Yep.
I'm like literally scrolling through my read books, and like I have one like anti-recommendation. Like it has a bad boy, but I just hated it. And it's Wuthering Heights, which I love the movie for, specifically the Tom Hardy version, which is just absolute chef's kiss, and I saw that way before I ever read the book, and it's like my favorite movie, so I was like, I'm gonna love the book. And then I read it, and it was terrible. It was so bad. So if I could throw in a little anti-recommendation, if you're looking for a book with a bad boy and are thinking, maybe Wuthering Heights, actually don't do that.
He's like the original bad boy.
Can
we count like Darcy as a bad boy?
Oh no,
he's not. He's just a bad
boy.
We call him a bad though.
So that's really all I got for that. Does anybody else have anything for it?
Mostly because I'm reading it now. I wouldn't go as far as to recommending the series. Mixed feelings on it, but like Carden is said to be a bad boy. And like I have leaps into Rhysand / Tamlin from ACOTAR than any of their knockoffs. And then Aiden from Illuminate Files. I don't care that it's a computer. Aiden's a bad boy.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna shut my mouth, but because I almost just said like a massive spoiler on that. But I'm looking at my list of books right now, and I'm realizing all of the stuff that I have that are like bad boys are like murderers.
Yeah, I had like a bunch of those, and I was like, I mean, I still kind of said one of those.
Well, because like for me, it's like I read a lot of like plays that are about like murder.
Murder plays.
Just like stage shows. It's either like people complaining about their relationships or people killing each other, and there's no in between. Like that is every show.
Sometimes one leads to the other, right?
Yes.
Two options you got here.
Death or romance? Which
Yes.
do you want? Yes? That's every other show. Congrats.
Sword kisses. Yes.
So how about for Dr. Scott, a book with disability rep? Does anybody have any recommendations for that?
I got 2. I got soft and less soft. I will let someone else go first though.
I was just gonna say Disfigured, but that's kind of an obvious one.
That's a good one though.
Yeah, she liked my tweet. I was all like, "Oh my god! Thank God I gave it 5 stars." But yeah, it was really interesting. I liked it. It's about if anybody doesn't know, disability representation in like fairy tales and Disney and folklore and stuff like that, and how it's related to villainy and being the bad guy. Does that make sense? Anyway.
Yeah, I just got that because for that very reason, I heard someone talk about it, and I got it because since I work at a state psychiatric hospital, like I've heard people that literally I work with describe a patient as being like the witch in Hansel and Gretel. And they're like, this. I mean, and then she kind of backtracked and was like, because back when there wasn't like treatment for these things, people saw them as being like witches and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about your statements, but I do agree with that sort of. But yeah, I think mine for that prompt would be Marbles. It's a graphic memoir by Ellen Forney, and it's Marbles, Mania, Depression, Michelangelo, and Me. And she's got bipolar disorder, and she basically talks about being like a cartoonist and being in a creative field and then learning you have this disorder and then kind of looking at it as a superpower because it allows you to do all these cool things and oh my gosh, it's awesome. But then like the lows are so bad and sometimes the highs get so high that the crash sucks and stuff like that, and learning how to like live medicated and still finding the creativity and kind of coming to terms with what's my personality and what's the disorder and stuff like that. So I liked it for that purpose because I can relate to that aspect of bipolar disorder and stuff. So I liked that representation. But yes.
My two, the first one is my soft rec if we just need it, and it's also available on Hoopla, is the Tea Dragon Society. There is a wheelchair-bound character, and this whole book fulfills so many things between queer rep, gender fluid, and non-binary rep, general queer rep, and like I said, also some disability rep. I forgot what the word was for a sec, but yeah, absolutely fantastic. So soft. All three of the graphic novels, or the first two, are available on Hoopla, and the third one comes out in June. They just push it back, but it's so sweet. And then the Devouring Gray, there is a character who is missing the bottom part of their arm. Also, Priory had a couple of characters that were missing limbs as well, and they played a very prominent role, so that would also totally work.
Nice.
I'm like looking through my list, and right now I'm noticing the fact that like the reason I don't have one that comes to mind is because every book that I've read that has some kind of rep usually seems to focus around like them trying to fix it or like things like that. So like I don't necessarily like recommending those books because it's not like the best way to portray that kind of stuff. So it brings me back to the memoir that I mentioned in previous video, Furiously Happy, which is a book by a blogger who has like chronic anxiety and then rheumatoid arthritis, lives with like chronic pain, just telling stories about her life, which are all pretty cool. And she's hilarious in talking about it. So I definitely recommend that and the first memoir she did, Let's Pretend This Didn't Happen, which I'm currently rereading. So
is that the one that you're talking about earlier that has the mouse on the cover?
Yeah. It has this little mouse holding like a sword on the cover. It's adorable.
I actually just read for this prompt the graphic novel El Defo by C.C. Bell, which I didn't realize was like semi-autobiographical. And it was like really, really sweet. It was, it's a middle grade graphic novel, so it's very easy to follow. And it's just sort of about her journey as a young kid, learning to live with and cope and use her severe hearing loss in her daily life. And the only thing that I didn't like about it was the art style, but I think that it was still like the fact that I still liked it without liking the art style says a lot, because usually when I read a graphic novel, it's very heavily reliant on the art style. That's like half of the rating for me. So the fact that I liked it so incredibly much without loving the art style says a lot about the merit of the storytelling, I think.
I felt the same way about El Defo, I think. I really liked the story and not the art style.
Yeah. I felt bad because I was like, what am I gonna do for the riff-raff prompt, the ugly cover prompt? I feel so bad being like,
some
this is an
covers.
ugly cover on like any book. I'm like, I don't want to like diss any like graphic
Like a
designers
cover
like
of-
that. I feel so bad.
Oh, I feel like I
Where
can't
is
show
it?
one. Let's see.
Where is it? I want to be funny, but I can't find the blasted book. Where is it? I just read it.
I just don't read. Okay, this sounds really dumb, but like I just don't read ugly books really. Like, if it's
Okay.
ugly, I'm like, oh, that just doesn't seem like my kind of thing.
Mhm.
I'm no longer the flattering angle. Please no one roast my pajamas.
Showtime.
Oh, I like your Beetlejuice hoodie.
Thank you.
I almost wore a Beetlejuice shirt.
Yeah, this one's a musical. Like I read at BookCon last year where I saw the
It
musical.
looks so cute. I love it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the book.
Oh, that is an ugly Agatha Christie cover. Ew.
It's also super old and like falling apart.
Oh no.
And like the back is like not good either. It's just
Oof.
text on text on text.
Okay. I can't reach the one I was originally going to say as a joke, or as serious as a joke. I was going to say it, but I also want to physically cold. So I want to say Midnight Sun because no one can say that's a good cover.
So bad.
It looks so like
And then also my art copy of Fury Born is not super pretty. I like the real cover much more.
Oh, I've never seen that.
This is
Oh man, I would have never picked that book up if that was the cover. That's terrible.
Yeah.
for-
I have
And I
the
love
ugly
Fury
version of Foundry Side, which is sad.
What's that?
I have the ugly version of Foundry Side.
Oh no.
I bought it as a paperback overseas, so it was. I didn't even know
Mm.
what the cover looked like over here until I got back, and then I was like,
so.
"Oh, that's so much
Oh
better."
god, that's such
yeah.
a difference.
Like,
Yeah, it's a big
this is
difference.
the Fury arc and was like cover to be revealed. I'm like, I hope this is not a hint because
Right? Thank God that improved. Oh my goodness.
So the one I'm counting for this is Haunting of Hill House, but my version's really cool looking because it's like the orange penguin like version. And my friend Sarah, she popped in here for a minute. She actually gave it to me for birthday. I want to say it was a birthday.
Aw.
I think birthday. I don't remember what event, but like a lot of the covers for that are like.
Not so much.
so another one I had, it was in the other room, so I had to go and grab it. I love and proof this cover simultaneously. That's my edition of We Sold Our Soul.
I love that one.
Because it looks like the cover of Rolling Stones, which is so
Yeah.
cool. But compared to like your cover,
Oh yeah. Where is that thing?
yours is so
Let me
cool.
go. I'm gonna grab it.
And so compared to them, this one looks like less cool. But like the detail in this is so cool. Like it's issue number 666. That's hilarious.
I like that.
I have a pretty ugly one over here. Which
And my name with Faust is pretty gross too. Oh god.
I hate this cover of this is the Jane Austen book club, and it's just like ugh.
See, there you go. There's an ugly cover.
I don't even like understand how this correlates to the story because I haven't read it, but it's just like so bleh.
My edition with Faust is also pretty gross.
Oof.
Like,
Oof.
Into the video I'm doing.
Oh
You're
no,
so
that's
cute.
pretty amazing.
Like, compared to these two, like, this is the same book.
Yeah, I would definitely pick up Cait's version.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that's so nice.
it's a cool cover by itself.
Yeah.
Oh, I want it.
It's like, if those two were sitting side by side, Cait's every time, man. Like, this is cool if this was just a kind of like My Best Friend's Exorcism is just that cover. Objectively, I think it's a little much, but like, I love the aesthetic of it.
Mhm.
Like, yeah.
But comparing the two is like, oh, wait a second.
During something, there's an option.
Mhm.
Yeah, mine's got the symbols on it though that like you can't read without summoning something. So
So Cait's copy is more dangerous, but it's pretty.
yeah, it's much scarier. But yours, like, I like that. I want to get both personally because that's how I am as a person. But like just being a musician, I'm like, I like that one because it looks like a Rolling Stone cover. But I did find an ugly cover. This is also an anti-rec. This is
I have not read I haven't watched your review of it purely because I have a video idea that requires me reading stuff blind. Joe Meekins is possibly on the list.
Don't ever torture yourself with this book. This book. Okay, first of all, this is the cover. It's not like I hate it personally.
I don't want that.
I got it because I like to buy really weird books sometimes and just be like, okay, let's see what happens. And sometimes it's great. And
puppy.
This was not great. It was terrible. So bad. Kill it.
Okay, I will keep not going to the other room, so if you wanted to say hi.
So,
Merritt's got something.
That just reminded me of a book that I got out of a little free library because I started dying laughing when I saw it because it was just like, I need to see what this is about. It's Fall Out Boy. I don't know where
Is it
this came from. It has like
the
photos
band
in it.
journey?
It's
Like,
yeah,
what
it's
is
like
it?
The history of the band.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody was apparently a big enough fan to buy it, but not a big enough fan to hold on to it. So I was just dropping off books, and then I was like, I need to see what this is.
That was a gift. That was definitely a gift to some. I feel like a parent was like, "Oh, you're into the Fallout Boys," and then like got them that book.
Or like so they were like,
100%.
they're like into Panic at the Disco, and they're like, "Oh, that's the one."
That's the the ones on those rock and roll 8-track discs.
That happened to me as a child, so I feel like I felt triggered by that experience. One Christmas, my mom got me a book about New Kids on the Block, and I was like, what? Like, this is not even in my age demographic. Like, this is from like 10 years ago.
That just reminded me. I was at a one of those like community fundraising book drives where you fill the bag and the whole bag is like a set dollar amount. And I found this book. I don't know if I'm ever going to read it, but the cover and the title made me laugh so hard, but it's hideous. This is Horrors of Atlantis. I can have to read the back because there's a bare butt. But like,
sorry, I just thought of one.
The ugliest cover I own.
Oh, God. It's like we're all just like searching bookshelves now.
Yeah, because like, funny enough, I don't own many ugly books. Go figure.
I would say most of mine are ugly.
I actually really like that.
Dude, what is that? Is that like a lobster man? What's
that? It is a lobster man, indeed. And the back is his butt.
I would have bought that book on site if I'd have seen it.
That.
I was like, that looks weird. I'll get it. And apparently, like, these lobster aliens take over or find him or something, and then they slowly, surgically transform him into Lobster Man.
That's my kind of book right there.
I can't wait. I haven't read it yet. I've read part of it, but it looks so like it's so ugly. I love it so much. Yeah. So I forgot about that one for a moment. Yeah.
I can't see most of my books because I've got like a stack of all the school books that I need to put into storage in front of my bookshelf. So I'm just like, I don't know what I have anymore.
So every time it's like, what book is this? I just like let me scan, even though like I'm literally not registering anything visually when I do this.
I have a TBR jar here of all of my own read books as part of my TBR game, and all of them, including this one, is in there. And I'm just like waiting one day on camera to be like, okay, so next on my TBR is Horrors of Los Atlantis.
There will be a day.
The next Not Safe for Workathon. Just put that one in there.
So part of me wants to read it to avoid that, but part of me can also like imagine having to like do that on camera and be like, all right, there's a story behind this book, I promise.
I think it's funny if there isn't a story, you know?
Not this cuz.
Yeah.
Actually, this one's been on my TBR for a really long time. I've put in a lot of research into this book, and I really think it's something I'll deeply appreciate and love. I bought this for zero funny haha reasons. Not at all.
That reminded me of my mother, and strummed a chord within my heart.
I'm gonna throw up from laughing, please. Oh my god.
To any graphic designers in the audience, if you are behind any of these covers or you objectively like them, sorry, please reevaluate your taste.
I'm not sorry.
Ooh, punches have been thrown in this here Rocky Horror Readathon. Okay. Didn't think it would get violent tonight, but I guess here we are.
Don't dream it, be it.
Anything further, it's all over. It's gonna fucking.
Speaking of, this guy has no neck. But he does have nipples, just like Batman in the Batman movies.
Oh,
But no neck.
That's wonderful. That's
Yes, nipples.
Good for him.
No neck.
Is he human?
I hope that lobster man is
lobster
thriving.
Yeah, so his arms are lobstery, but the hands are on the end of the lobster.
Okay.
Up here, though, it's just straight up all claw. All claw.
Getting like the very zoomed in version of it is just like uncomfy.
Wow, look at his booty.
Hi, sorry about that.
It's shiny. It's very shiny.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I don't. I should make an ugly covers video.
I will cover the video.
That's a good idea.
See, an ugly covers video for me would just be like, yeah, here's more books that are on my shelves that I've had for me upwards of 10 years that I still haven't read because
of the ugly covers, probably.
No, I'm a fraud on BookTube, but I don't read.
Speaking of reading and or not reading, how do we feel about doing one last prompt, maybe? Not prompt, sprint? That's the word.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Are we feeling any sort of time in particular? Anything jumping out?
I can probably just do a short one.
Want to do another 15?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Why are the videos playing? Oh no, I left it on autoplay. Oh god.
I love that Bella got like possessed by Kermit somehow. That was great. Did they go away?
So let's share that bar screen one more time in a Chrome tab. All right. Starting up. Oh my god, I didn't even plan that. I didn't even look at the time. It's 9:40. That's perfect. So this one will be going until 55 then.
Sweet. 55.
All right, so that was our last sprint of the evening. How did we all do that time? I actually have to look back to see because I did not look at what page I started on.
I feel that.
I got 13 pages in, and something interesting just started to happen.
Ooh.
People are about to get caught because someone's a dum-dum. So that's gonna be fun.
Ooh, that happens so much in books. Just lots of dum-dums.
And the reason like they're about to get caught and the reason this person's a dum-dum is such a dumb reason, but I love it.
That time I read 6 pages, which means I landed on page 312, and this book ends at, let me see if I can do this, 369.
Oh my god, you're so close.
So I'm so close. I've literally got that much left.
Oh, it's so cute.
Oh, wow.
I got a total of 50 pages, a nice even 50 read this whole sprinting
that's really
set.
good.
That's a nice
Yeah,
chunk.
bit a big chunk out of it for this reading session.
I got 12 with a total of 34.
Nice. I have no idea what my total is.
Well, I started at 1, so very easy to figure.
I just got through 21 pages, so I read like almost 60 total. I think.
Nice.
But there's just so many documents and things coming up.
You're getting so close to my favorite part of that book, and I cannot wait because I will know the second it gets to it.
I'll be sure
Your
to keep
reaction.
you. The best part so far has been completely inconsequential to the entire story, but Ella changing Nick's username to Little Nick is driving the bus. Which, best thing ever. Because every time I read it, I laugh.
I read 40 pages total, but only
Nice.
like,
Nice.
I can't remember. I think it was 9 when I counted how many that last sprint.
Nice.
My dog needed attention, so.
Aww.
She also just wants
He's a good
pizza.
boy. Oh, 2 puppies! 2 puppies at once!
Logan wants to be a part of this too.
I'm so happy.
You guys get a lot of nitro, but Logan's like, love me too.
No.
Like, so cute.
I love them. I love them both so much.
She's a mess.
So, with that, I think that is going to be the end of the evening. I gotta get up at 5 a.m. tomorrow to start getting into my costume.
Ew.
I mean,
Yup.
yay for the costume, but ew, 5.
It's just because I gotta go to work at 9, but but it's gonna be worth it. So if you guys would all like to introduce yourself for anybody who might not have been here at the start of the read-in, plug anything else that you would like to plug, any of that sort of jazz.
So hello again, everyone. My name is Becky. I'm from the channel Coffee, Cocktails, and Books. And I just wanted to reiterate again, thank you so much to anyone that has been participating in this readathon, whether it's been very actively or reading one book during this 2 weeks and seeing how many spaces it can fill. I'm sorry if you guys can hear my dog squeaking his toy in the background. But genuinely, really, thank you so much. We are hoping to do this again next year, so definitely stay tuned on the Twitter for updates for that. And we will be doing a little send-off show on my channel on Sunday. It'll be in the evening around the 7 p.m. hour. I think it's the time that we agreed on, if I remember correctly. we said that on Monday. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so we'll be doing that. We'll be hanging out, just talking. I have a few questions for everybody, and it'll just be a quick little send-off to say goodbye. So I hope to see you over there. Also, as I mentioned before, I am very close to hitting a subscriber fun milestone. I'm about 35 people away from it, and some of the books I've showed today are going to be featured in a secret reading vlog I am doing hitting that milestone. So I hope that some of you guys choose to hang out on my channel and hang out in the future.
Woo. So while you were saying that, I realized I'm accidentally in basically a closet cosplay of Velma.
I was gonna say something, and then I was just like,
thought that at
no.
the beginning of the night, and I wasn't gonna say
I
it.
didn't realize until this just moment, because I was like, wait a minute, my pants are bright red. It's like this. Anyway, it's Halloween. We're just gonna claim that it was on purpose. For anyone who missed it, my name is Merritt. I'm over on Fictional, Not Fantasy, though everywhere else on the internet it's at Merritt Worthy. TikTok seems to be my thing now. But coming up this weekend, tomorrow, I'm doing a panel for WebCon. It's going to be this kind of like scary story write-in session for an hour. And then immediately after that, we're jumping into live stream writing sprint sessions until like 6 a.m. We're going to be bouncing around a bunch of YouTubers' channels, starting at like 10, going through 6 a.m. Of course, I took the last shift because I'm a crazy person. And then on Sunday, Allie is joining me on my channel, possibly, to play some Monster Camp because I really want to play it.
I'm so excited. I have it, but I haven't played it yet. Have you?
No, I literally just bought it today.
Yeah, me too. When you messaged me, I was like, yes! First, I could buy the game.
So that'll be fun. But that's all I have.
I'm Allie. Oh, you can find me on Twitter, BookConfession2. I will be playing video games with Merritt. I do NaNoWriMo as well with Merritt and Cait. Oh my gosh. I have a lot, but that's all I can think of. Nothing out, everything to come.
I feel like that's the motto of BookTube. Nothing out, everything to come.
Exactly. Yeah. Everything is planned. Nothing has been done. Welcome to my world.
See, you're making everybody shiver with anticipation.
Right? When is it going to happen? Not even I know.
You're just building the audience. It's fine.
Exactly. I get everyone to come to me first.
Oh, wait, you're going to have a great launch. That's just the way you got to think about it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm arriving fashionably late to my own launch.
My launch, my rules.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hi. I'm Cait. My channel is Chaptercvii. I'm Chaptercvii on Twitter and Instagram. Not on TikTok. TikTok is Cait. I barely ever post on there. It's been a minute. But I do a mixture of ASL videos and book videos. But yeah. I do things on my channel. Join the Goth Lit Club. We read Goth Lit.
What's the book for next month?
Oh, yeah. Funny you should ask. So tomorrow we're doing a live show for Haunting of Hill House. If anyone wants to join at 1 o'clock on my channel, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Soon to be Eastern Standard.
I get those mixed up all the time, so I share everything Eastern. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever this clock says.
It'll be standard, I think, after this weekend. I think. But yeah, no, yes, thank you, Iggy, because I forgot for a second there. Next month's read is the Ballot of Black Tom, and so I'm currently looking for co-host for next month. I have one person so far. Oh, you're laying on my leg. Sorry, it was really cute. And then I'm trying to find more co-hosts. I would really like to have a couple of like own voices co-hosts, you know, people that can speak to certain representations and things. So, you know, if you're interested, if you really like the book, if you have never read the book and are super interested in the book, come talk about it, because I've never read Lovecraft, but I read like 5 things based on Lovecraft. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all.
And Cait has merch.
And I have merch. And the book club also has merch.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there's that.
I know that Sophie just got one of the shirts that she ordered for me
Yes,
today,
I
and she
just
loved
saw
it.
I just saw it. It was so cute. I'm so happy. That's the shirt I got, but I got it in dark forest green, like a swamp person. Y'all, also, like, I hate this, but my dog is just like
Oh my
so
god.
all
So cute.
Baby,
all curled up.
Mr. Love Muffin.
She's got fur all over me, but she got cuter somehow. Anyway, that's all.
She's a good girl.
Shows I was talking about her, that's what she said.
And I am Bella. This is my channel, so you probably already know that I am the Bookish Badger, and I am at the Bookish Badger on Twitter. And just once again to note for everybody that we will be doing the Rocky Horror Readathon sort of wrap up end of the readathon check-in over on Becky's channel on Sunday night. So please come to that. That's the main thing that I would like to promote right now.
It'll be just as chaotic as this.
Yeah. Love that for us. So thank you all for joining us tonight, all of those of you that could come and read with us. We appreciate you all deeply and hope you have a lovely night. Thank you all. Good night.
Good night.
Goodbye.